Digital marketers can now generate thousands of fully written articles with a single click. The cost of producing text has dropped to zero, and the internet is flooding with automated content. We are seeing a massive spreadsheet phenomenon. A marketer looks at a list of keyword variations, and instead of writing one helpful guide, they spin up hundreds of overlapping pages. You get one page for best blue running shoes, another for blue running shoes best, and another for running shoes blue wet. The result is content confetti. These pages are technically optimized for search engines, but they are thrown blindly onto the web without offering any real value to the person who actually clicks the link. The internet is filling up with text that isn't directly plagiarized, but is spiritually duplicated. Reading these articles feels like walking into a waiting room where 10 different people are wearing the exact same beige jacket. Pursuing this kind of cheap scale is a trap. It frustrates your readers, drives up your bounce rate, and destroys your site's trustworthiness. This flood of automated text has triggered widespread panic across the industry. Website owners are terrified, asking if search engines are actively hunting down and penalizing AI content. The algorithm does not care what tool you use to type the words. Search systems penalize the malicious intent to manipulate rankings and the mass production of cheap, unhelpful filler. The software itself is entirely safe. The actual threat to your rankings is a complete lack of human integration in your publishing process. The fastest way to ruin a site's reputation is through the zero-touch pipeline. This is the practice of generating a raw AI draft and publishing it directly to the web without a single human edit. What comes out of that pipeline is air pudding. You get flawless grammar, sophisticated vocabulary, and a total absence of practical advice. This scatter plot illustrates why raw drafts fail. Large language models predict the most mathematically common sequence of words. When you prompt an AI for an article, it immediately snaps to the dead center of public knowledge, actively stripping away distinct opinions, edge cases, or unique insights. That mathematically average text creates a massive vulnerability against modern generative search features, which now summarize answers directly at the top of the results page. If your article only regurgitates the most obvious facts on a topic, the search engine's AI will simply absorb those facts into its summary. The user gets their answer instantly and has zero incentive to scroll down and click on your website. Generic zero-touch content doesn't just rank poorly. In an environment dominated by AI search summaries, it becomes completely invisible. To survive, your workflow has to treat AI strictly as a sous chef. It chops the onions and preps the station, but it never designs the menu or runs the restaurant. A workflow starts with humans making strategic decisions, defining the audience, search intent, and angle. AI does the grunt work, building wireframes, clustering topics, and formatting tables. Finally, human editors inject the empty framework with specific trust signals, real-world experience, and clear authoritativeness. That requires embedding first-hand testing data, documenting internal company workflows, and adding direct quotes from subject matter experts who actually work in the field. Instead of letting the AI publish a bland statement like AI improves productivity, a human editor rewrites it into a concrete action plan. Use AI to draft your first glossary page, then have a subject expert add edge cases. Humans set the strategy, AI builds the structure, and humans inject the specificity. That mechanical sequence is the only reliable way to construct an authoritative asset that search engines want to rank. Because anyone can now generate text for pennies, raw publishing volume is officially dead as a competitive strategy. As this diagram shows, a massive library of technically optimized filler pages will consistently lose to a much smaller, highly curated library of genuinely helpful content. Search systems are engineered to measure user satisfaction. They reward pages that remove friction and clearly answer questions for human beings, not sites that hit arbitrary daily publishing quotas. Your competitive advantage is no longer the generative power of your software. Your advantage is the unique, unreplicable human fingerprints left on the final page. Before publishing anything in this environment, apply one final check to your work. If you stripped the primary SEO keyword entirely out of the text, would the page still genuinely help a human leader? If the answer is yes, you have a valuable asset. If the answer is no, you are about to publish algorithmic sludge, and the draft needs to go back to the drawing board. Ranking at the top of a search page requires leaning into the one metric an algorithm cannot generate for itself: lived human experience.